The date was set, the time was set. All I needed to do was execute. But the lessons learned from the termination of my first employee have lasted me throughout my career. Let's talk about it. Contrary to popular belief, the termination of an employee is not a good feeling for anyone, especially when you're the one that has to do it. So I can remember my first, and the night before I did lose sleep. I had a very restless night, just running through my head what would happen, what could happen, what I was supposed to say and what this person may respond back. And I knew how the meeting was supposed to run, but because we're dealing with human elements, you don't know how the meeting is going to run. And even though the person should have probably expected this with the meetings that we've had before, you just don't know what's going to happen. And so it's not a good feeling when you get to the spot where you have to terminate an employee. Even though I got coached on how the meeting should go and what I was supposed to say, I was still extremely nervous the whole time. And it probably showed up in my voice, how nervous I was, because this was someone that I had worked with over a period of about 6 months, and the behavior just not improved. And so here we are at the termination table. The termination actually happened in HR. So we were in a different office. HR representative was there, I was there, and the employee was there. Of course, I'm the one that's doing the talking and letting this person know that, we've come to the point where improvement has not been made. And so at this point in time, we're going to have to sever the relationships with her and the company. And so I said my part, and she did not take it well. There was no other discussion after that, but I just know how she felt and how she didn't take it well. After the termination, when you go back up to your team, it's an awkward situation because you as a supervisor are the one that has to pack the desk and clean the desk off and clear it up. And of course, people are probably talking around you, and you cannot really discuss in detail, which you shouldn't, what just happened. But if it happened on your immediate team, of course, you let the team know that that person will no longer be coming into work and is no longer has a relationship with the company that you work for. And that's the extent of the conversation. It feels like people are walking on eggshells around you. As a supervisor, it almost feels like you're wearing on your chest or on your back, I terminated someone. And it's not a great feeling. The feeling gets over because most of the folks, if they've worked with the person on the team, kind of saw the deficiencies in their performance. And so, this was something that probably was not unexpected by anyone. But it still doesn't feel good. It's still something that you as a supervisor have to do when it's time to do something like that. And it's probably the worst part of your job, because I like to see people succeed, and when they don't succeed, it's just not a good thing. It's something that has to happen sometimes, but it's just not a good thing, and it's not a good feeling. Now let's talk about the lessons learned. The first lesson I learned is I did not terminate her. She terminated herself. I cannot, as the supervisor, I cannot want you to succeed at your job more than you want to succeed at your job. Sometimes it's as simple as coming to work on time. It's as simple as improving your attendance. It's as simple as learning a process. And if you can't do something like that, or unwilling to do something like that, sometimes it comes to termination. And so all I'm doing is observing what the progress of whatever the deficiency is, and giving you an opportunity to go ahead and, do better. And so if that does not occur, the termination is because of you and not necessarily because of me. And so this is one lesson that's kind of hard to learn, because you do fault yourself at the very beginning that this person was not successful. But just know that the termination occurs, if you have to do one, because of the person and not because of you. The second lesson learned was that this person was given the opportunity over a 6-month period of time to make the changes necessary to still secure her job. However, she was unable to do that. Over this period of 6 months, memos were written, meetings were had, time was spent with the person on a regular basis, meeting on a regular basis to document the progress. And since the progress wasn't moving in the right direction at the pace that we needed it for it to go, this is why this occurred, the termination. So the termination falls still back on the person that was terminated and not necessarily the supervisor that just carried out the termination act. As you can see on this channel, we talk about things that are very real, that are very relevant. And I'd like to ask you to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button if you would like to continue to hear more relevant information and to share this out to more supervisors so they can also learn. The last and most important lesson I think that I learned is that a subpar performance is not fair to the rest of the team members. The expectation is for everyone to meet certain performance levels. And if this is not being done on a consistent basis and you're helping this person try to get to it, however, they are unwilling or unable to get to it, it's not fair to the other team members because someone has to make up the slack of that person. And it's not fair to the customers that are paying the salaries of the people that work there. So that being said, it's something that has to be done. It's something that, like I said, does not feel good, but it does have to be done. And it's really for the betterment of both sides. If you're not suitable for the job or for that company, and the company is asking specific things of you and you cannot perform at that level, it's time to find a different job that you would be much happier at and that you could be successful at. So these are 3 things that I learned with my first termination. The question comes up, does it get easier? And I would say, yes, it does get easier. Hopefully you won't have to do a lot of them. I didn't have to do a lot of them in my career at my job, but it does get more routine, I would say, and it would get easier. And once you realize these things and learn these lessons, I don't miss sleep anymore. I may think about what's going to occur when it happens, but I'm not missing sleep because I am satisfied that I have done all that I could to help this person succeed. And at that point in time, there's nothing more that I can do. And so this is something that that I've just, the issue is resolved when it comes to that point in time. And so it's a little bit easier and it's a little more routine but your first one is pretty rough. So hang in there and just write these lessons down if you took notes and everything, and go for it and do the job that you need to do as a supervisor.